You've now discovered the Patriotic Pitbull News Network, boy, I tell you what. Welcome to the party, friend.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. This is Patriotic Pitbull. That is an excellent little intro there for the video portion that our good friend Bill Mack, our extraordinary producer on the podcasts, is back with us. And it is a pleasure to be here making a video. I am the Patriotic Pitbull. You guys know me. I know you. And it's good to see you because it's been a while. So since it's been a while, I want to say dilly dilly to you and to those other folks that are just finding us. You're going, hey, what is this guy all about? I'm telling you what, we are Patriotic Pitbull News Network started a while ago, and we have went from podcast to YouTube, and now we're going places. And here's to you folks. Here's a salute. It's late in the day. Maybe it's early in the morning. Maybe it's middle of the afternoon. Maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever you are. Wherever you're watching this, thanks for clicking. If you're just seeing this and you're not part of the channel, like we do, like, subscribe, whatever the heck everybody says to do. But as long as one person sees it and we get the message through, then it was worth all the time and effort. But today, what we're talking about, we can talk about, wow. So yesterday, today is the official date. What is it? The 13th, March 13th. So we had what was that, Operation Varsity Blues or whatever that was, where the college admissions fable of how we're all playing on a fair and equal level. It came out that we're not, because you can buy your way into college, and Lori Loughlin and what's her name, the other lady from Desperate Housewives of whatever the hell it is. Anyway, the CIA, FBI come out and say, hey, look at that, check it out. We busted these people because these people think they're above the law. More of Hollywood crumbling in and of itself. Why did they pick those two? I don't know. But you know what? If they're dirty, then hang them all. And I don't mean hang them literally for something that's stupid. But you know what? They should be tried in a courtroom just like you and I would, just like anybody else would, because there's not two sets of rules. And until Hollywood, until the entertainment industry, until the politicians get held to the same set of rules that you and I do, the common people get held to, then there is no justice and there will be no peace as far as the truthers, those of us who know this whole thing is a fable, this whole thing is a farce, this whole thing is BS. And we're going to start calling you out on it because this beautiful thing called technology and this beautiful thing called the internet, you sons of, well, you know what you are, and you mother, you know what you are. Since you forced our hand and you forced us to be this way, you better watch out. That's why the Patriotic Pitbull is going to lash on to the truth and not let go until something happens. Either I'm going to go down fighting, or the truth is going to come out, and those who should be held responsible for crimes against, whether it's humanity, other people, if there's victims in your crimes, then you should be held accountable, plain and simple. I'm talking to you, Clintons. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But today, I digress. Maybe it is what's in here. If you are of legal drinking age in your part of the world, I would say, you know what? Yep, it's probably 5 o'clock in your neck of the woods. It's not 5. Oh, it is 5 o'clock in my neck of the woods. So, be that as it is, today we are going to talk about health things, and then I'm going to end this transmission with a rant. And I would encourage you to leave me comments or send us an email. Like I said, Bill Mack is back for a little bit, and that's good to have. It's good to have you back, Bill. You're either going to get on camera or you're going to get on microphone one of these days. But either way, I digress. Let me pull this up here. Let's go ahead and pull some stuff up here because here's some things that maybe you folks didn't see. First off, China's CRISPR twins might have had their brains inadvertently enhanced. Did you see that? New research suggests that a controversial gene editing experiment to make children resistant to HIV may also have enhanced their ability to learn and form memories. Now, these are two genetically edited girls born in China last year, and they have changed in ways that scientists didn't think so far. Now, they are modifying these girls' genes. They modified them before birth. The girls are named Lulu and Nana. Scientific team using a new editing tool, CRISPR. That's why they're called the CRISPR twins. And they have their goal was to make the girls immune to infection by HIV And if you can do HIV, you can do other immune deficiency. Autoimmune deficiencies is the theory behind this. Now, new research shows that the same alteration introduced into the girl's DNA, deletion of a gene called CCR5, not only makes mice smarter, but also improves human brain recovery after stroke and could be linked to greater success in school. The answer is likely yes, it did affect their brain, said Alcino J. Silva, a neurobiologist at the University of California, Los Angeles, also known as UCLA, whose lab uncovered a major role for the CCR5's gene in memory and the brain's ability to form new connections. Simplest interpretation is that those mutations will probably have an impact on cognitive function in the twins. Chinese team led by He Jinhui of the Southern University of Science and Technology in this Shenzhen claimed it used CRISPR to delete CCR5 from human embryos, some of which were later used to create pregnancies. HIV requires the CCR5 gene to enter human blood cells. The experiment has also widely been condemned. It's been condemned as irresponsible, and he is under investigation in China. News of the first gene-edited babies also inflamed speculation about whether CRISPR technology could one day be used to create super-intelligent human beings, part of the biotechnology race between the United States and China. Now, there's no evidence that there was any due diligence to be set out to modify the intelligence of the twins. MIT Technology Review contacted scientists studying the effects of CCR5 in cognition. They said the Chinese scientists never reached out to them, and he did to others, though, and he hoped to get scientific advice or support. As far as we knew, never heard from him at all, said Mu Zhao, a professor at the Western University of Health Sciences in California. This is just all kind of creepy. During a summit of gene editing scientists that occurred 2 days later in Hong Kong, he acknowledged that he had known all along about the potential brain effects from the UCLA research. I saw that paper. It needs more independent verification. And again, he, who is Mr. Silva, said he is against using the genome editing for enhancement. Whether he's true aims, evidence continues to build that CCR5 plays a major role in the brain. Today, for example, Silva and a large team from the U.S. and Israel say they have new proof that CCR5 acts as a suppressor of memories and synaptic connections. So the Chinese, they are gene mutating as we speak. Next on our list, this one's big, folks. The United States government, this is from our friends over at, here, let me just close this out because they like to do this kind of crap. Gosh darn it. See, they do this to you every time. And we are going to escape out of this. This is our good friends at the dailymail.com. U.S. government approves experiment to create a type of bird flu that could kill millions of people. Yes, U.S. government has been scorned for lifting its ban on experiments to engineer deadly bird flu, which could infect humans. I'm going to start this again because this is how this goes. This is an article by Sam Blanchard, the health reporter for Mail Online, M-A-I-L Online, from our good friends at the Daily Mail out of the UK. U.S. government has been scorned for lifting its ban on experiments to engineer deadly bird flu, which could infect humans. Research into the viruses will soon be allowed to carry on, despite experts' warnings people could die if the pathogens break out of laboratories. Scientists say they want to study the virus to, quote, protect human health, unquote, so they can learn more about it and be better prepared for a pandemic. But Professor Steven Salzberg, a biomedical engineering expert at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland, said he cannot fathom why the U.S. National Institutes of Health, which has permitted the dangerous research, is allowing it to happen. I've said it before more than once, he wrote in a column for Forbes magazine. Engineering the flu to be more virulent is a terrible idea. This research has the potential to cause millions of deaths. Professor Salzberg claimed two scientists have spent years trying to mutate the avian flu to spread between humans. But the National Institute of Health, the U.S. government's medical research agency, put the research on hold in 2014 because of safety concerns. So, the U.S. government said that there were safety concerns. Okay, already I'm concerned. Despite a letter signed by hundreds of scientists from around the world, the NIH has now lifted the ban and will allow Ron Fushier and Yoshihiro Kawawaka to continue their experiment. Science Magazine reported last month a government board has decided to allow the research to continue but would not publicly release details of its review. I bet we're paying for it as the taxpayers. As a result, the government will consider new funding applications for research in this specific area of virology. In 2014, the NIH granted professors Fushier and Kawawaka more than $600,000 towards the project spreading bird flu between mammals. The research explored ways in which existing bird flu viruses could mutate so they would be able to pass between droplets of breath from ferrets. One of the deadliest strains of avian flu circulating today is H5N1, Professor Salzberg wrote. This strain has occasionally jumped from birds to humans with a mortality rate approaching 50%, far more deadly than any human flu. Fortunately, the virus has never gained the ability to be transmitted directly between humans. That is, didn't have the ability until two scientists, Ron Fouchier in the Netherlands and Yoshihiro Kawayaka at the University of Wisconsin, engineered it to gain this ability. Actually, their work showed that the virus could be transmitted between ferrets, not humans, for the obvious reason that you can't ethically test this on humans. Professor Salzberg's fear of the research creating a virus that could kill millions of people stems from flu outbreak death tolls from history. In 1918, for example, the Spanish flu outbreak, which spread to people from birds, killed around 3% of the world's population, between 50 and 100 million people. There are fears of another devastating virus outbreak in more densely populated areas, and faster travel around the world could help spread this disease out of control. This little article goes on to talk about what was the Spanish flu. It was the first H1N1, and it infected 500 million people, over a third of the world's population at the time. It resulted in 3 to 5% of the world's population that died. And in the 1918 pandemic predominantly killed previously healthy young adults. This is something we will be paying attention to here for sure at the Patriotic Pitbull News Network. From our friends over naturalnews.com, good folks over there. Mike Adams, it was a pleasure to sit with him one day and talk. This came out the other day. The Association of American Physicians and Surgeons denounces mandatory vaccines, citing no rigorous safety studies. Vaccine fanaticism having now turned into a dangerous left-wing medical cult. It's refreshing to hear a medical organization denouncing the dangerous idea of mandatory vaccines. Recently, the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, an organization that supports vaccines in general, publicly denounced the pursuit of mandatory vaccination enforcement, correctly stating that there are no rigorous safety studies demonstrating vaccine safety. The full statement from the AAPS is enlightening. We're reprinting it here. We're not reprinting it here as the Patriotic Pitbull News Network, but here's the full statement. And you can go to naturalnews.com, pull this up. This is from March 7th. Anyway, basically it goes down to that vaccines they're necessarily risky. This is a good place to jump back in. Vaccine Injury Compensation Program has paid some $4 billion in damages. High hurdles may be surmounted to collect compensation, though. The damage may be so devastating that people would prefer restored function to a multi-million-dollar damage award. Smallpox vaccine is so dangerous that you can't get it now, despite the weaponization of smallpox. Rabies vaccine is given only after suspected exposure or to high-risk persons, such as veterinarians. The wholesale pertussis vaccine was withdrawn from the U.S. market a decade later than from the Japanese market because of reports of severe permanent brain damage. So again, there is no safe, there's no sound, no rigorous safety studies done on mandatory vaccines do any good whatsoever. Now, from the same place, naturalnews.com, genetic sequencing science breakthrough just proved that measles outbreaks are caused by the measles vaccine. Yeah. The entire fear-mongering campaign surrounding measles outbreaks in the United States centers around a big lie that's pushed by vaccine propagandists. All measles outbreaks, they falsely claim, are due solely to unvaccinated children. Thus, the answer to outbreaks is more vaccines, they say. But a science paper published in the Journal of Clinical Microbiology entitled Rapid Identification of Measles Virus Vaccine Genotype by Real-Time PCR has discovered something that vaccine fanatics don't want the public to know. As it turns out, a large number of measles outbreaks are actually, quote, vaccine, unquote, reactions from the measles vaccine itself. That's the MMR vaccine. Quote, during measles outbreaks, it is important to be able to rapidly distinguish between measles cases and vaccine reactions to avoid unnecessary outbreak response measures such as case isolation and contact investigations, unquote. The study authors write, quote, we have developed a real-time reverse transcription PCR method specific for genotype A measles virus that can now identify measles vaccine strains rapidly with high throughput and without the need for sequencing to determine the genotype, unquote. With the help of this breakthrough science on genetic sequencing, these researchers have stumbled onto something the CDC is desperately trying to make sure the American public never learns. Rapid identifications of measles virus vaccine genotype by real-time PCR. This is right here. This entire deal is what the synopsis, and they're talking about in the published paper. In other words, measles outbreaks were occurring among children who were already vaccinated with the measles. If you do the math, nearly 38% of the genetic sequences that were conducted on supposed, quote, measles, unquote, cases turned out to identify measles strains that originated in the vaccines themselves. Thus, more than 1 out of 3 cases of measles in the United States was actually a reaction from a measles vaccine, not wild-type measles. And this goes on to just show that the measles vaccine is a bunch of BS. Measles vaccines, truthfully stated, are creating their own demand for more vaccines by causing measles outbreaks in children. Naturally, the entire vaccine establishment and fake news media complex refuses to report the truth about any of this, pretending that measles outbreaks are only occurring among unvaccinated children. Also, Patriotic Pitbull wants to point out at this point, also, there are measles coming up through unvaccinated, illegal children through third world countries coming through our unsecured borders. This is how outbreaks that are caused by vaccines end up getting blamed on anti-vaxxers, resulting in wholesale censorship of vaccine awareness content by Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and other tech giants that universally function as the propaganda arm of Big Pharma and the CDC. Now, with that being said, I wanted to end this part that we're going over some articles here with this that came out today. Yes, indeed. Oh, my goodness. This is from CBS Sacramento. Parents blame elementary school cell tower after 4th student diagnosed with cancer. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. Let me see if I can get this out. This might not let me get out of this stupid thing now, but yeah, see, it's being stupid. Anyways, in Ripon, California, a 4th child has been diagnosed with cancer at a San Joaquin County elementary school, and parents believe it's because of radiation caused by a cell phone tower. Oh, wait a minute. Patriotic Pitbull's going to fall out of his seat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. Can I start again? Like Ross Perot said, can I start again? Can I start again? Okay, here we go. In Ripon, California, a 4th child has been diagnosed with cancer at a San Joaquin County elementary school, and parents believe it's because of radiation caused by a cell phone tower. Clearly, those parents didn't watch or listen to an old podcast by the Patriotic Pitbull. They didn't watch this channel on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're seeing this. Oh, my goodness, you mean they really do cause cancer? Get the F out of Dodge. Oh. Towers are spread throughout the community, but it's this particular one that parents say needs to go. We had a doctor tell us that it's 100% environmental, the kind of tumor that he has, said Monica Ferruli. And Ferruli, I'm sorry if I killed your name. Her son Mason was the 2nd child to be diagnosed with cancer in just 3 years at Weston Elementary. He was 10 years old and walked by this cell phone tower daily. It's indescribable. It's really tough, she said. And I know, folks, that's a terrible lady voice. I could do a better lady voice if I really tried, but I'm just doing it for cause and effect here. It's one of the hardest things that I've been through, said Joe Prime. Prime's son Kyle was the first, diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2016, and 2 more kids were diagnosed this year. Just seems like a coincidence. It's no longer, let me start this again. Quote, it just seems like coincidence is no longer a reason for all this illness, Prime said. They believe it's the cell phone tower that's harming their kids. Kids shouldn't be guinea pigs, and we shouldn't be taking chances with the children's lives, Prime said. The district has had several tests done saying the tower is safe and meets federal regulations, but some families weren't convinced and hired an expert. I wouldn't send my kids there at all. It's absolutely dangerous, said Eric Windheim, an electromagnetic radiation specialist. Children are still developing and their cells are still being divided. It's the worst possible time in their life to be exposed. He says it's not just a cell tower. It also transmits wireless frequencies. Quote, instead of only going 300 yards like regular Wi-Fi, WiMAX can go 30 miles, unquote, he said. This is he, Eric Windheim, the electromagnetic radiation specialist. Quote, Instead of only going 300 yards like regular Wi-Fi, that's 3 football fields, regular Wi-Fi goes. WiMAX can go 30 miles, unquote. Parents want the mast removed, but the district won't budge. Parents say the district's getting kickback of $2,000 a month to have the tower for a telephone company, but the district so far has not commented. Quote, it's a real disappointment that it's taken moms of sick children and dads of sick children to come out and say something needs to be done, Prime said. Ferrulli's son Mason has since relapsed and is undergoing brain cancer treatments, while a 4th child has recently been diagnosed and taken out of that school. They say it's not just a battle now for their children, but a fight these parents say they won't give up. Quote, there's a lot of kids that we love that go to the school, so we're fighting for them, Ferrulli said. District sent out a letter to parents saying that the electromagnetic frequencies are far below federal standards and have completed a thorough investigation and do not have any plans of removing the cell phone tower on campus. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. You know why they don't? Because it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. That's right. There's a COM12 briefing. In fact, where is it here on my desk? Look, it's right here. This entire, and we went over this, people. This COM12 briefing right here. The COM12 brief. This is absolutely the worst thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like to say that the technology is not good, to say that 5G is nothing to worry about, is an ignorant statement. If you go to geoengineering.net, go to stopthecrime.net, and you can start there. Geoengineering, just look it up, okay? Look up there's a big plan here, folks. Okay, there was the Agenda 21. There's other operations that have happened. You know, you need to understand there's a lot of things going on, and they're all interconnected. Okay, so this COM12 briefing has to do with mind control and MK Ultra and stuff. That has to do with the cell phone towers as well. Do you realize that they're not just repeating cell and information frequencies, okay? You need to understand that like in this page, very last page of this whole thing, okay? You can find this on your own. These are cell phone towers, right? Cell phone towers. And again, I could pull this up here, but I wasn't going to go into it today. I've already went into it plenty of times here on this channel. You need to understand that the 5G is what the big tech needs to start screwing with things in a big way. 4G is not it. 4G LTE is not it. Okay? Be that as it may. Be all that's said. One thing I'm tired of hearing is, well, there's no such thing as chemtrails. Okay, we already have proof of that. We also need to quit telling each other that you don't know what you're talking about. Because I have been told I don't know what I'm talking about more often in the last probably 2 years of my life trying to red pill people. I don't have all the answers, okay? I hear people all the time go, oh, you know, chemtrails, they're not real. They're not real. You guys are just tripping. Listen, I'm the last guy that wants to say there's some airplanes up there that are spraying chemicals on us. They're spraying them all over everybody. What, is there an answer to it? Yeah, there is somewhere. Do I have the answer? No, I don't. I hope somebody watching this does. I hope that enough of us keep saying they're doing this. They're doing this. Look at it. Okay, you can literally go out in your skies and you can see lines across the entire sky. And you can see a normal plane, because ignorant people will try to say, well, those are contrails, those are frozen ice particles and blah, blah, blah in the sky. No, that is not what that is. Okay? I am getting tired of people calling each other names and saying that people don't know what they're talking about, okay? Some of us actually do our own diligence and do our own research. And we find out a lot of things about a lot of stuff that we didn't want to find out to begin with. But just like you saw yesterday, you mean to tell me that you really can buy your way into a college? You mean that happens? Yeah, that happens, man. It blows me away. People go, oh, well, you need to, we don't need a wall. Here's another good one. We don't need a wall. There's the wall is a farce. It's pointless. The government doesn't need that, and then the government wants you to believe that. Well, I'm not really sure. I would implore you, if you have some time, look up Operation Cable Splicer. Yeah, want to talk about the southern border? Just look up that one. That one would probably blow your mind. Look up Rex 84. Probably saying, Pimple, what are you talking about? Go ahead, I'll give you a second. Open up another window over there. Do whatever you need to do, but pull out your phone. I don't even have my phone with me, dude. I do not have my phone with me, but I'll tell you what is on here on my desk. Citizens Rule Book. Yeah, it's got the Constitution, patriotic. Yeah, it's all right there. Here's something else I'm getting tired of. Dilly, if you're still with us. If you're still with us and you're not a fan, you haven't liked the channel, things get better, I promise. This one, that we have not been on the air. We have not put out a video in a while. To the followers, I apologize. That's all my fault. We've had a lot of stuff going on. And to those up for the Patriot Soapbox, thank you so much for coming over here and following too. I'm going to have to work out a different time because I am very quickly going to a normal Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 o'clock routine with my work. So I'm going to have to figure out some nighttime time or some weekend time to do a show on Patriot Soapbox. But please, if you are not already a fan of Patriot Soapbox, we're doing some fun things over there. But excuse me. But listen, people. There's some big things are about to happen. They're coming down the draw. I have full faith in President Trump. You like the shirt? Yeah, see, I picked that shirt because I'm tired of Ivanka Trump today is blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 Jared Kushner, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a rat's patoot what Ivanka Trump is doing. Personally, I can't stand her. But that's beside the point. I don't have to like her. I wouldn't vote for her because I think she's not worthy of my vote. That being said, folks, remember, there's people that don't think like you do. There's people that don't believe in things that you believe in, but they're on your side, okay? This whole, a couple weeks ago when the New York had the whole, we're going to allow abortion to happen while they're alive on the table, and we're going to discuss this, this whole abortion thing. Abortion is one of those things when the mainstream media has nothing else to talk about. They can get an emotional response from the people. We're talking about abortion right off the bat, abortion or religion. And there's two things that I'm tired of hearing about. Okay, people want to throw out religion all the time. Did you know that? Okay, for instance, King James Version was what was that? There's like 6 different versions before it got to actually the King James Version as you know it. There are. It's all a bunch of BS. How many different people transcribe the Bible? So we'll just use the Bible right now, okay? If you want to get deep on this thing, want to get really deep, Jesus was never referred to as the Son of God. What? Because there was never a reference. Male offspring were not referred to as sons. Want to get deep into some stuff? It was SONE. Okay, and maybe it put some comments. You guys want to go into deep about why religion is BS? I can go there. okay? I can go there from a lot of different perspectives because, see, it's the Patriotic Pit Bulls' opinion and my take completely. I don't speak for anybody else on my team. I speak for me right here. You know why we have religion? So that we don't get bored with ourselves. We are God. Say what you will, think what you will. You're going, oh, the guy's crazy. Oh, the red juice is talking. No, it's far from, we're far from talking with the red juice, ladies and gentlemen. But I have seen an influx in, well, the Lord Jesus Christ has brought. No, the Lord Jesus Christ didn't do jack and nothing. Well, believe in Jesus. And, I believe, here's a great one. I believe Trump has the hand of God upon him. Well, duh, we elected him. Because if you think about it, we are God, okay? If you think about it, we are, and again, I could go there with you on this video, but we're not going to go there. Do you think we should go there? Let me know. Aside from all of that, folks, 2019, we're going to see some heads start to roll here, I think. And you got to start on one end, and you got to work your way to the other. And I think we're starting to see that, okay? We're going to start seeing news media start to really, excuse my language, step on their own dicks. It's going to start happening more often than we've seen it happen. We're going to see it in a big way because there's nothing else they can throw at the wall that's going to stick. We already have called them on their BS, and I encourage each and every one of you to keep on calling out their BS. Did you go to your city council meeting, this last one that you had, wherever you were at? Well, why not? Go ahead. I'll give you a second. Think about that. Maybe you don't know even what day it is. Well, why not? I'll give you 2 seconds to think about that. Where was I? Yeah, I was at mine the other night. Yeah, and I was pretty surprised by the lack of the people in my city that showed up. I think everything is just hunky-dory until it's not. You have to keep we preach at the Patriotic Pit Bull News Network. Get your house in order. What does that mean? That means when you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, you better be right with yourself. You better be right. Because if you're not, and you're out there professing and negative, and you're out there full of lies and deceit, BS, that catches you real quick. If you're out there doing your doings, as a beautiful lady that I still know says it, if you're out there doing your doings with honesty, integrity, dedication, belief in your cause, faith in what you're doing, and knowing that you're a good person, that's going to come around in such a big way, but it's going to come back slower than if you're doing it with negative intentions. Oh, there's that word I was looking for. Intention. Make sure your intention is pure and good. God bless America. God bless you for sticking around. We are going to start getting this channel back active again because Lord only knows what the censors have worked with. Do we have our couple of thousand back yet? Do we only have a couple of hundred? Are there 14 subscribers? I don't know today. It always changes, but I don't care. Bill, do you care? Still don't care. All right, awesome. See, Bill Matt doesn't care either. I don't care. Bill Matt doesn't care. We hope that you don't care, but if you like what you see here, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Patriot Soapbox as well. 24/7. That's where you can find all of the alternative stuff. And if you're into Q stuff, that's where you want to go for that. Start there. With that, like we always say around here, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. God bless America. And we will see you next time on the Patriotic Pit Bull News Network. Yeah.